Last year, I built a soundproof, radio-proof lab and office for Lockheed Martin, where they no doubt work on new ways to convert human children into red mist. Hello, fellow creature. Welcome back to Rooftop Talks. That's my rooftop there, my balcony, but I'm inside because it's really, really cold outside. I'm going to respond to this comment that I received, which I thought was pretty interesting. I can't remember the exact video that it was on, but I was talking about animal rights and people's moral obligation to stop paying for animals to be abused. Okay? And I received this comment by MAE_dastardly. He says, I've literally killed too many animals to count with my own hands due to living in the country for most of my life. Last year, I built a soundproof, radio-proof lab and office for Lockheed Martin, where they no doubt work on new ways to convert human children into red mist. My diet is a drop in the bucket compared to the gallons of blood on my hands. Why should I care about the morality of eating a burger when I'm already going to hell? LOL. Let's just point out really quick, he used the word burger to trivialize what it is he's doing. He's eating the body of an animal who wanted to live, who was killed prematurely, probably after being born for 1 year. A cow can live until they're 27 years old, and they're typically killed within the first few years of being born. Okay, so you're killing an infant cow there. You could have a Beyond Burger, which tastes delicious, but you instead decided to eat the body of a very young, premature, sensitive animal who's innocent, who didn't want to go to a slaughterhouse and have their last moments on earth being surrounded by screams and metal floors. They're metal so that they can just hose it down after all the blood is sprayed everywhere. Okay, that's the setting of this animal. So it's not just a burger, it's the body of a once living being who you're demanding is killed for your taste preferences. And nothing more than taste preferences. You can get your nutrition by other means. But anyway, the main thing is this guy is saying, I'm already going to hell. Why should I care about these extra things that I'm doing right now? My past is filled with these morally abhorrent crimes, as he admits and considers them to be. Why should I care about adding a few more bodies on top of the heap, on top of the pile? So this is my response. I think hell misses the point. When you think of hell, you're only thinking selfishly about you. You're thinking about how you're going to suffer, how you're going to stand trial for your crimes, and it comes back to you again. It's the ego again. It's just another form of self-interest when you talk about going to hell. This is how religions like Christianity kind of hack the human self-interest to try and get you to do things that are selfless. It's really despairing to think that the only way these religions persuaded people to do the right thing is by telling them that they're going to go to a lake of fire if they don't. I think there's a better reason to not do bad things, which is that there are victims that will suffer. And if you were the victim, you wouldn't want that done to you. There is a self-centered concept at the core of heaven and hell. If you're doing things so that you can get into heaven, that's selfish. You want to go to heaven and that's the only reason why you're doing it, really. If you're doing it to avoid going to hell, that's selfish as well. That's not for the good of the victim. If you were trying to do it to save someone else from going to hell, I could understand a little bit better your intentions. But recognize that as a selfish motive. You're so steeped in this self-centered concept that it feels like such an out-of-the-box way of thinking to talk about the victims. You haven't acknowledged the victims yet. You called her a burger, right? That's not acknowledging the victim. You're thinking about it selfishly. So I suggest that you try to connect with the victims of your decisions. Get to know them. Go to a ranch, go to a sanctuary, and get to know who it is you're fucking over. Who it is you're paying to be artificially inseminated, who it is you're paying to be separated from their families, who it is you're paying to be kicked down the corridor to the kill floor, to be repeatedly bolt gunned in the head until they finally collapse and are dead. Often it takes multiple attempts. Yeah, get to know them, because they are peaceful, gentle creatures. I don't recommend that we keep concepts like veganism as mental exercises, like cerebral calculations that barely scratches the surface of what it is we're actually talking about here. We're talking about real beings, real creatures that to have in our company would be a privilege. It would be a privilege for me to meet a cow. If you doubt that, think about if we'd never discovered cows and then we spent billions of dollars on a rocket mission to another solar system. When we got there and we found cows, every colonizer of that planet would be gathered around examining this cow and marveling at this amazing biological phenomenon just because she would be located on a different planet. Cows are amazing. We just take them for granted. The same with other animals. The problem's not with the animals. The problem is with us and our perceptions and how we understand them and how we see them. It's incredible how we can disregard such amazing creatures. Anyway, I'll continue. Now, if you consider your diet to be a drop in the bucket, why not start with cleaning up that drop? Why does everything have to be such a grand gesture? If that is indeed a drop in the bucket and you have a lot of atonement to do by your own admission, why not start with that drop? Why not start with that drop? Don't appeal to futility. That drop is significant. It's significant to the lives that you have reduced down to a drop of blood in a bucket. That drop is their entire world. That's their entire experience in that drop. Might be insignificant to you, but it means the world to the victim. Another thing I want to address is that it also sounds a bit like you're proud of your destructive power. And I think this is like the shadow masculinity coming through in your response. I can't help but detect a tinge of pride when you're talking about developing systems of destruction for Lockheed Martin that are going to turn children into red mist. The way you've even written that is like poetic in a way. Turn them into red mist. Talking about the spectacle of killing children, which is what you're partially responsible for. I detect a tinge of pride in that. And often the way of shadow masculinity is to derive pride from your power and your ability to ruin the lives of others. That makes you a danger, but it doesn't make you strong. You are not strong for being complicit in cycles of violence. You're actually weak. And it's even weaker of your character to be proud of that. But I don't condemn you for it. I think you can turn this around. You can turn this around at any moment, whenever you like. Starting with that drop, as you address it as, the drop. And I'm glad that you acknowledge it as a drop. That's better than not having that drop there. Like it means that you see those animals. If you acknowledge the violence that you commit to animals as being a drop in the bucket, you've acknowledged them. You've acknowledged them as a drop, and that's good. That's actually very good. Now, if you're bragging about your power over others, in this case animals, and you pride yourself on being a powerful guy, a powerful man, it should then be easy for such a strong, powerful, capable man such as yourself to self-improve, to abstain from such violence. If you are indeed strong, it should be easy for you to not kill others, to not fund and perpetuate cycles of violence. That should be easy for a truly powerful person. So if you want to have that identity and for that to really be true, prove it. It would be truly powerful of you to subvert your destructive power into something that protects the weak and the vulnerable. That would be impressive. And I think that's a challenge that you should take on for yourself. And lastly, you're looking in the past. You cannot undo the past. You're looking back at what you've done, but you can't change the past. None of us can. So we must turn our attention to the things we can change. All of those things are in the present and the future. If you find yourself being held prisoner by your past actions, you must shed those shackles and look to where you can now improve in the present and future. You might consider yourself a prisoner of your past, but you're not. That prison gate that's holding you prisoner, if you simply pushed it gently like that, you would find that the gate door just swings open and you can step out. So why not do that? If you didn't know that before, if you needed permission for it, here I'm giving you permission to shed your past. Every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. Your future is unwritten. You are the author of your own future. I haven't been wearing my microphone. Oh no, I haven't been wearing my microphone. I hope the audio quality was all right. Damn. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.